Good morning, Year 5. So today we are going to be looking at, and for the rest of this week, we're going to be looking at features of figurative language. Now, figurative language will help us when it comes to describing our settings and our characters as well. So we're focusing on lots of different little parts this week that we can build up the knowledge of to make our writing, our narrative writing, sound absolutely fantastic. So today we're looking at onomatopoeias. Now, some of you might already know what that is straight away. So my first question for you today is what do our onomatopoeias add to our writing? What do they make our writing do? What do they sound like to the reader? Okay, so have a think about that question for me. So I'm going to answer it now, hopefully. So what is an onomatopoeia? If you've already written that down, fantastic. And if you already know what it is, even more fantastic. But I'm just going to give some background information so that we're all 100% on what an onomatopoeia is. So, the word onomatopoeia comes from two Greek words and it translates as name I make. Okay, now that might not make sense at the moment, but once we reveal a little bit more, it should hopefully make a little bit more sense. So this means that onomatopoeias are words that imitate or copy the sound that they are describing. Okay? So, for example, I want you to say these examples out loud. So we've got pop, bang, hiss, buzz, and drip. So you can hear how the sounds copy the sound that they are making. Here are the words copy the sounds they are describing. Okay? So if you have a look at those ones, say them out loud for me and see if you can hear them when you say it. So here are some common onomatopoeias that we can use in our writing. So if we're wanting to talk about water or some form of lake, pond, things like that when we are describing settings, we can have the words splash, drip, drizzle, okay, so that we can hear those sounds copying what they are describing. Again, if we were doing a little bit of voices, if we were looking at dialogue, or if we were looking at conversations between characters, or maybe an unknown character we've not been introduced yet, it could be giggle, chatter, growl, okay? If there are any animals in our story, then we can hear the noises like the word oink, meow, woof, and cheep. Okay, feeling very strange saying these to year 5, so it's just bringing it back round to that knowledge of the common onomatopoeias again. And then we have collisions, if there's like a crash, if somebody's fallen, maybe a piece of the setting's fallen down, or something like that, maybe a tree's fallen, and you can hear those noises, so crash, thud, clink, okay? And then think about air, so we're thinking about maybe the wind, maybe an aircraft, things like that, so swoosh, gasp, and swish. So we can hear those words when we say it. And I quite like when we do onomatopoeias because, like I say, you can actually hear the words that you are saying. So your first task for me today, if I just bring these ones up slightly so you can see, is to put these onomatopoeias into their categories. So we've got obviously air or clouds and things. Sorry, not air. Water. We've got animals and we've got voices. So these are the ones that we've looked at on the previous page. I've just put the emoji to try and make it a little bit simpler for you. So what I want you to do is you could draw the emoji or you can just write the word water, animal, voice if you wanted, completely up to you. You might want to draw your own version. So draw a 3-grid table, or maybe just you're going to write the word voice and list all the ones that would show what the voice sound onomatopoeia would be. An animal, you write all the ones underneath that are animal onomatopoeias. Completely up to you. I want you to organise these into their categories. Now my next question is, are any of the words that could have gone into more than one category? And if there are, I want you to tell me which ones they are. So when you write it down, please explain why you think it could maybe go in more than one category. So have a go at this task for me and then we'll move on to the next one. So task 2 is to find the onomatopoeia in each sentence. So we're going to be scanning through each sentence. So we've got the train spluttered to a halt. The ribbits of the frog could be heard from the pond. Birds chirped merrily in the trees of Narnia. A breeze wafted by as Lucy entered the wardrobe. Edmund gasped with horror. We heard the bells of the professor's grandfather clock jingle. So I want you to write these sentences on your page or in your book, and I would like you to underline or shade in the onomatopoeia in the sentence. So I can see that you've understood right from the beginning what it means to use an onomatopoeia in your sentence. Okay, so write them in and then underline or highlight the onomatopoeias. And then finally, I think some of us will enjoy the last little task that we've got. So before you move on to the designing onomatopoeias at the bottom, your final writing task here is to create 5 onomatopoeia sentences about our story so far. So I've written, as you can see here, I've written 4 easily used sentences with onomatopoeias in about our story so far. So use those as a magpie to help you with your own sentences. But I want you to create 5 onomatopoeia sentences about our Narnia story so far. And as usual, the most creative ones will get the more dojos. My final question is, why do we use them in our writing? So we use them to add a dramatic effect, okay, and add a bit more meaning. Rather than saying the tree fell over, if we add an onomatopoeia to it, it adds much more drama to us as well. And then once you have done your 5 onomatopoeia sentences, I have put this little task up, which I know some of us will love. If you have a look at some pop art onomatopoeias, okay, you can have a look at them on Google, have a look on the internet. You might have seen some of these before. I want you to pick one onomatopoeia or 2 onomatopoeias and have a go at designing your own pop art onomatopoeia. And I can't wait to see those ones on your Class Dojo post.